Hi, I'd like to give my perspective on the documentary Peace, Propaganda and the Promised Land, which is about the truth about Israel and Palestine as how it's never been shown to us through the media. And well, obviously something fishy is going on there. Um, and I've also noticed, especially while watching that documentary, that it's true that how Palestine and the Palestinians, and with regards to suicide bombing especially and terrorism, has been presented to us here in Belgium through the media, and as what I've been seeing, which is that actually the suicide bombings have always been presented as a secluded event, as if people would really just blow themselves up for nothing, just because they're angry, but the reason why they're angry or the reason why they would in fact get to a point of wanting to blow themselves up is never shown, and that's never been um, apparently never been investigated, or just people just don't want the people to know about that. I can't say why. Um, there's many theories about that, obviously, but I don't know. So that's what I thought was the most interesting part of that documentary. That um, it shows the reality behind, for example, suicide bombings, and it shows us that actually people living in Palestine, in the Arab countries, um, or wherever, they're just people, and they are not the irrational, crazy beings that are being depicted, that how they're being presented in the media, as people who would just blow themselves up for nothing. No, they are people just like me and just like all of us, who just want to live. They just want to, have their house and their job, and their, they just want to provide for their family, for their children. They want to get up in the morning, go to work, come home, spend time with their family, and go to bed and rest, and in a peaceful way. Just live their lives. That's just what they want, and that's what I want, and that's what everybody just wants. It's the basic stuff of living. It's what everybody basically wants. But um, they were in fact being pushed to a point of actually blowing themselves up and considering to blow themselves up, and um, that is a I mean, imagine what it would take for you to be pushed to a point where you would consider blowing yourself up. Obviously, that means that you are being pushed to a point of experiencing extensive amounts of pain, um, or extensive amounts of anger, frustration, and despair, because this is an act of despair. A suicide bombing, blowing yourself up, is an act of despair. Like that person in, I think Egypt, that it was, who lit themselves on fire. Those kind of things is an act of despair. It's just people who are find themselves in a position where they just don't find any way out, and they are not heard. They are not being heard, and that's why people do that. That's why people blow themselves up. It's because they want to show to the world, um, what's going on here. But then the media takes that and turns it into something that it isn't, obviously, to again keep people from seeing the truth. I don't know why, but there's no other explanation for it, because in the media the actual background, the cause of why people would strap a bomb to their body and blow themselves up is never shown. And that's why it always has seemed as though Arab people are just irrational beings. They're just crazy and they're not like us. That's the experience I get from the media and from how Arab people are being presented and depicted in the media as if they're not like us. You know, they are like aliens. They are different from us, and therefore they are bad, apparently. Um, though having watched this documentary, obviously I could see that we're actually all the same. We just want to live, all of us, and it doesn't matter if you have a different color of skin, and it doesn't matter if you have what type of clothes you wear, if you wear a burqa or um like something to cover your hair or a long dress or whatever. It doesn't matter because you've been born into that culture and that's how you have been brought up to present yourself. But so what? I mean, what basically people want is just to be able to live, no matter what culture you exist in. Everybody just wants a decent life. We just want a roof over our heads. We want some food in our stomachs, and we want water to drink, and we want some social contact. We want to just enjoy ourselves here while we're alive on this planet. And that's basically the starting point of every living being. And so it's important that we actually start investigating reality, such as these, for example, these suicide bombings that have never properly been investigated, and um, which is apparently also what's been supported by the media, is to not go and investigate things for yourself. Because apparently we should trust the news and we should trust the media that will tell us everything and that will tell us the truth about reality, when obviously it really doesn't, because the media, it doesn't do any kind of investigation. It doesn't go and search for, it doesn't ask the right questions like, why is this even able to happen? Why is this possible? How come people would, for God's sakes, blow themselves up as if they're not just people? They're being presented as if they're monsters. I mean, what the hell? And when the reality is they're just people, but the media is playing out this game of right and wrong, of the bad guy and the good guy, and then they pick these people like the Arab people and they present them to be these monsters, these absolute devilish creatures who will do anything and who are a threat to us and our family and our children. You have that whole like Hollywood scene going on in the media where people are seriously deliberately being presented as the bad guys, which doesn't actually make sense because and within that we as the people living in Europe and America become completely disconnected with the reality, which is basically the fact that Arab people, they're just people. I mean, they're just beings, just like all of us, just like me. And me as a being, I just want to live. And in that way, I'm not defined by how I look or the language that I speak, um, or the culture that I'm in or the land that I live in or whatever, because the basics of my existence is that I just want to be able to live here, and so does everybody else. And all those wars and conflicts, if you really look at it, it's all been sort of pre-designed and predetermined by those that are in power and that are playing some kind of games and are using media to get people to go with it and to believe that this is all right and this is the way that the world is supposed to be, and this is normal, as if all this conflict and war is normal, and as if people aren't just living, breathing beings, all one and equal, all the same. The same in the sense of that we're all just here, we're all just living on this one planet and we just want to live. You know, I mean, look inside yourself. You just, if there's any conflict that you experience, that you participate in with other people, or if there's any hate or um, anger within you or anything, actually all coming from the fear of not being able to survive, not being able to live, because that's what you actually basically want. That's what everybody wants. We just want to live. Um, okay, so that was my perspective, and so I would suggest to investigate the equal money system, which is the solution that will bring about a world that is um, that will in any way and in any situation present the truth, and it will be it will present a practical, livable solution for all living beings, wherein we look at the basics. We look at what does every living, breathing being really want. You know, why are we here? I mean, we're just here. We're being born on this world to express ourselves, to experience ourselves, to live, and that's just the same for everyone. So if we give everyone the basics, then there will be no more wars, because wars is only um, sprung from the fear of not being able to live. And so if every basic needs are met of everyone, then we'll just be able to live, and there won't be any more bullshit like this going on, because the current state of this reality is just unacceptable. So investigate equal money on www.equalmoney.org. Okay, thank you.